Hello, 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 everybody. We are in the final week of regular season of BTL. First match of the day, we have FFZ versus Dynasty Sapphire, and I am joined here today by the wonderful Vimstat. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm ready for the season to be over, so I can relax a little bit. We have some pretty banger games. We have the Prophecy Zerathai predicting a victory here, as he is foretold, and Dynasty Sapphire with the victory here guarantees the first seed slot for the playoffs. So, how do you think it's gonna go down, and what are you most excited about?
I'm excited to see if the prophecy comes true. I hope the prophecy comes true. Um, I don't want Dynasty Sapphire to win because they just beat us down last week. So.
All right, all right. Well, starting off with the bans, I see Sapphire going for a strong Amumu and Cinnaband, something that FFZ has been pulling out a lot, especially with the Cinna and kind of what won them their series last week. And then we have the Irelia ban against Empress of Blades by FFZ, so great pickup there. Want to keep the one tricks off the one trick. And then we have the Ezreal and Jarvan ban to finish off the banning table. FFZ has lost their first ban for the first game because they had to sub in their jungler. Hopefully they won't lose another ban next game if the jungler does show up, but we'll have to see and wait. But what are you expecting from this game other than your hope for FFZ to win? Were you expecting some strong suits to lie, especially on the side of FFC? We know what's strong in Dynasty Sapphire, but FFC kind of been on a downward trend since the beginning of the season. Finally picking up a game last week. What do you want to see them do more?
I think for this game particularly, since Voperto is subbing in, which I think is only for the first game, I want to see them play around him a little bit. He's a really strong player. He plays these AD carry champs like Belveth and Graves. So I want to see them play around that strength and try to get control over objectives. And Ziggs is a huge pickup here for Zerathite. It's something that can be really oppressive and buy a lot of prio for the jungler to move around the map.
Yeah, 100%. We did have the Orianna first pick for Dynasty Sapphire, so one of the strongest mid laners in the game right now. Super reliable, great damage, great team fighter. Ziggs, as you said, first picked up there for Zerathai, something he's known for. We had a double Master Yi hover. I hope we don't see it.
Are
That
they?
champion is wackadoodle to say the least. But I don't think Vopperton really plays Master Yi, so I don't think it's gonna come through. Maybe it comes out for Dynasty Sapphire, but we have a Nidalee
Oh,
hover.
I
Very
do not like
interesting and
that.
super risky to blind pick. Looks like he's gonna shift off into the Lee Sin. Great playmaker. Vopperton known for his Lee Sin in past BTL seasons. So
Yep.
great to see him pick up the champion again and hopefully do some work just because of the great playmaking he has, the great shot calling, and the ability to direct the game his way.
Yep. I expect to see a Cassante pickup for Dynasty Sapphire here. They lost a ban on the side of FFZ, which could really come back to bite them on the Cassante here.
Yeah, I definitely can, especially with Cassante being just such a powerful solo laner. Very hard to kill, very great, very high kill pressure. We have the Nocturne picked up there for Dynasty Sapphire, so I believe that's a little bad for Lee Sin, because even once Lee Sin goes away, if he spell shields the kick, Nocturne can just sit right on top of Lee Sin, and there's not much he can really do. But
Yep.
it probably will depend on what Vaporto can do to get a lead in the jungle to actually try to contest the Nocturne fights. We do have the Leona blind pick support into the Ziggs. So we're probably gonna want to see either a poke centric or a disengage centric support coming out of FFZ just to make sure Leona can't get on top of your Ziggs. Bard sort of does that. He does have his stun. He does have some empowered slows. His ultimate is okay. At least it can push away the AD carry once Leona does go in. But it looks like they're going to shift off into the Azir. Azir, very powerful, especially into the Orianna, I believe. I think he actually outranges her as long as he's playing around the ball correctly.
Yep.
So it kind of neutralizes the lane. I don't think Azir is going to have the greatest kill pressure on Orianna until level 6. But they also got to worry about the junglers, because most of these junglers are super powerful gankers. Nocturne with the Paranoia, Lee Sin with the safeguard kick, flash kick. Things can get really dangerous around that level 6 mark for both these mid laners.
Yep. And the Nocturne Ori combo is pretty gross as well. And Nocturne is unstoppable and just gets in there, and Oriana can press R.
Yeah, as long as Nocturne doesn't fly too far away.
Yeah.
But looks like FFC going to put more priority onto the AD carry pool. Going to get rid of that Kai'Sa, something that pairs really well with Leona. I hope to see them get rid of like a potential Samira or just something that can really like stop Ziggs from doing what he wants to do. Maybe even a Lucian. We are going to have the Renekton ban here for Dynasty Sapphire. So trying to give Ford a favorable matchup because more than likely Ford is going to be blind picking this, and they don't want to be shoved into anything that's going to go too crazy in the top lane.
Yep. Yeah, Ford is a really strong player. If he gets ahead, he can really take over a game. I don't like to see them not banning Cassante, because I think Cassante is 100% going to be the pickup for top lane. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
All right, we do have the Xayah ban, so again, another one of those powerful supports. Or not supports, sorry, AD carries. Super safe too, makes it hard for Ziggs to poke out. And we do have a Rel. Yeah, honestly, Rel with Ziggs probably would be pretty OP.
Yeah.
But let's see what FFC picks up. They should pick up their support here. They already know the support matchup. They want to give the counter pick to Mad Chef here. Let's see what they end up doing. And they hover up the Blitzcrank. That's a little risky, especially into Leona. And they're going to shift over to Alistar. Alistar would actually be perfect here. Great combo potential. But they're just keep switching up. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Alistar. Okay, they're going to go for okay.
I think Alistar was really good.
I think Alistar was 1,000% better. Leona, one of those champions that does really well into Rakan, actually, has a great way to stop the Rakan engages with her stuns and roots. And Rakan can't really peel a Leona away. Other than like a knockup. But
right.
that's not typically enough to keep Leona off the AD carry. So it's definitely going to be tough for FFC in the bot lane. Luckily, looks like Dynasty Sapphire did lock in a low mobility AD carry, so something that even if Leona goes forward, Rakan can go forward as well to just stop the Jinx and hope Ziggs doesn't die to Leona solo.
Yep.
So not the worst thing in the world, but I definitely would have liked to see something like the Alistar, someone who can headbutt the tanks away because Oriana's going to have their ball on the Nocturne on the Leona. So overall, I think it was definitely a little bit of a misplay there for FFC. But let's see what Dynasty Sapphire goes into the top lane. They keep popping over the hover with the Cassante, but they opt to grab the Mordekaiser. So honestly, FFC is probably praising the gods right now because Cassante got all the way through the ban phases and pick phases and wasn't picked up, which is insane.
Yeah, I think Mordekaiser is a good pickup here. They do need some AP, and Ford has taken over games with Mordekaiser earlier in the season, so.
All right, well, FFZ looking to see what they can answer into the Mordekaiser. The Cassante hover is here, but it's going to be swapped over to the Set. Does Set win that? I think Set wins it once he gets Blade of the Ruin King. Maybe he wins it early. I'm not really sure on how strong Set is, but it's going to be hard for Set to get any decent ult. Or is his ult unstoppable?
I'm pretty sure his ult is unstoppable.
Okay, then Mordekaiser can't even stop his ult. So probably not the end of the world. So not terrible, not terrible.
And if Set times his ult correctly, I'm pretty sure it would cancel the Mordekaiser ult.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I still favor the Dynasty Sapphire lineup here in terms of team comps, just because the Jinx Leona is super powerful, especially with the Rakan getting picked up into the Leona. Oriana has some great ball targets. Nocturne and Leona are great for the Oriana. It's really going to be down to can FFZ not fall behind, because they need to buy time for Ziggs to get items for poke. They need to get time for Lee Sin to look for some plays, and they need time for Azir to get to items. Whereas Dynasty Sapphire doesn't really have that. They just need to get to level 6, and then they're ready to go.
Yep. And I think that both teams scale really well, so like even if this game does go late, it's kind of a coin flip at who wins the game, because they both have really strong late game champions.
Yeah, there is one downside to FFZ. They don't really have a reliable AD source of damage. Set kind of does that, but he's more of like a bruiser, so not the greatest DPS. Whereas Dynasty Sapphire definitely has a better mixture, the Jinx and the Oriana. So it's really going to be tough if we get to super, super late game. But other than that, Dynasty Sapphire doesn't have a true tank except for the Leona. But even then, Nocturne can get pretty tanky. Mordekaiser gets pretty tanky. Mordekaiser can definitely pick up an Abyssal Mask. He's definitely not going to complain about that if he wants it. So things can definitely get a little bit dangerous here for FFZ.
I am curious about the Amumu ban. That kind of like surpassed me, but I wonder what they're cooking on FFZ side.
Yeah, the Amumu ban
could be something interesting.
I mean, if they knew they were taking away Senna, Amumu is probably really good with Ziggs just because of the lockdown plus the true damage enhancement, and they know Zerathai plays that champion. So maybe it's just prediction here. I know for a fact Vapato is not really known for the Amumu, but you never know.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm excited to see how this goes. I think this is going to be a pretty boring game, early game, but I think it'll get spicy once we see level 6 come through.
Yeah. Who are... Where do you want to see Dynasty Sapphire jungle focus, and where do you want to see FFC jungle focus?
I think for the Nocturne, just like this game, there's not...
Okay, so the first song, Over My Dead Body.
God dang it.
Be like super successful other than the top lane. So I want to see him just focusing on getting level 6, maybe stealing a couple camps away from the Lee Sin, because we know that Lee Sin's going to want to get active on the map. He doesn't have the best clear. So if he can just focus on getting camps and getting level 6 as soon as he can, I think that's what I would do.
Okay, okay. And then for Lee Sin?
For Lee Sin, knowing that Nocturne's going to want to steal away some of your camps, I think as Lee Sin, I know I'm going to have a stronger early game than Nocturne, so I want to look to try to punish Nocturne if I can, since I have some prio lanes like Azir and Ziggs, and really try to get something going early game and shut down this Nocturne.
Yeah, especially with the Ziggs picks, if you can get the Ziggs ahead as a Lee Sin, Jinx and Orianna, two champions not very mobile. If Ziggs is on point with those Qs, especially with the buffed radius, it's going to be very hard for those champions to really get in and do what they want. They're going to have to be fully reliant on the Nocturne engage. And despite what we're saying, like the Rakan not the greatest at turning away an engage, especially from the champions like Nocturne and Leona, Azir is, Lee Sin is, Set is. They have three champions that are great at pulling people, like letting people engage and then just immediately kicking them out of their engage. So the disengage for FFZ is there. They have a lot of area control with the Ziggs, with the Azir. And all that's really on the side of Dynasty Sapphire that has good area control is the Orianna. Like, yeah, Leona ulti is a little bit scary, but at the end of the day, it's even if they get the Leona ult onto like a champion like Ziggs, they still have the Azir, the Lee Sin, the Set to defend. Whereas if Orianna gets hit by like an Azir Emperor's Divide or a Lee Sin kick, there's no one pulling her out of that fight. There's no one getting those champions away from her.
Right.
But we are going to have to see. We're going to send it off to a break while we load into the Rift for game number 1 between Dynasty Sapphire and FFZ. We will be back in approximately 3 minutes, so don't go anywhere. right, we are loaded into the rift for game number 1 between FFZ and Dynasty Sapphire. Vimstad, are you ready?
I am.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
All right.
Yep, I am.
All right, well, let's get into this game. We are ready for the showdown. Can FFC's prophecy teller tell the truth? They told it once. Can they get it a second time?
I think that this game, they definitely drafted what they wanted to draft. So, if anything, they have a really good chance this game to take a game off of Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, and they need all they can get. They definitely need to... If they can win this game, it sets them up in a really good position to actually take the series, just because these are 3-game series, obviously. If this was a best of 5, it would be a little bit different, but winning one game in a best of 3 is really all it takes.
Right.
Minions have spawned.
Looks like we have a standard 5-point coming out from both teams. Both junglers are just taunting in front of each other. Etoe has opted to not take a pot into his jungle, and Zerathai went with a Doran's Ring instead of a Sapphire Crystal start. Sad to see, but here we are.
I'm a little curious to see that Krull took the pot, because he shouldn't be looking to fight at all. He should just be looking to full clear.
Yeah, it's maybe just to keep him a little bit healthy. I don't know. I don't feel like Nocturne takes that much damage in his clear just because of his passive, but
Yeah.
we have to see exactly what goes down with how he's pathing, or if he's expecting for Lee Sin to fight him early, which is also a very high potential.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure they both know where each other are starting, because they did sit and like look at each other till 1 minute 20 seconds. So
Yeah, both junglers are going to have a top side start, most likely going to path into the bottom side, maybe look for some mid-focus ganks on the transition down. While we just watch Zerathai do what Ziggs does and try to farm with his Q from about 10 years away. So
Yep. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see the Jinx lane get early prio here.
it's a little rough until Ziggs gets that like lost chapter, because he does use a lot of mana early on, especially if he's trying to focus harassment with his Q, or at least at bare minimum he needs a tier.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not exactly that. Like, if you already look, he's already a quarter of his mana down, and I think he's stunned 1 Q at the opponents.
Right. Yeah, it does look like we're gonna see just standard full clears coming out from both sides. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, we might see a fight at the Scuttle, but FFC is not going to have priority on the Scuttle as of right now because of how much that Jinx and Leona was able to shove them in. And Jinx went to go get a ward onto the Lee Sin, so they know exactly where Lee Sin is, what part of his clear he's on. Things can get a little bit dangerous here for the Lee if Nocturne looks for something. But Mad Chef getting pulled away by the Mordekaiser E to miss the W, and now he's just going to get walked down by the burn.
Oh, this is really good from Relish.
Yeah, we have an invade into the bot side. Krull is looking to try to take the blue from Etoe, but String Theory, Next Winter, and Empress of Blades are here and ready to move. Zerathai should have the initial move here. The blue buff goes over to the Lee Sin, and now Krull could be in danger. Ziggs has the cutoff. He's getting some good damage. A double knockup by Just Relish, and that's going to be almost First Blood. First Blood over to Zerathai by the Ignite, and now Etoe and Next Winter are going to get pushed away while Jinx picks up the trade onto Just Relish. So overall, 1-for-1 trade. The jungle camp wasn't stolen, and First Blood over to the Ziggs. FFC is happy with that.
Yeah, that's really good for them. And notably, he got a lot of mana flow ban stacks from that.
Yeah.
And he got a blue buff.
He got a blue.
That's going to really help him.
So he is sitting pretty in this lane.
Yep. And that really does shut down this early level 6 from the Nocturne, so his level 6 is going to be a little bit delayed. He probably won't hit it. He'll hit it right around the spawn of Rift Herald. Maybe a little later.
Yeah, so Zerathai should honestly most likely just shove this in, back, get a last chapter in TP. If we take a look at his gold, he is at last chapter gold. So he should be TPing back. Probably needs to complete the shove though. Looks like they will. Okay, so... Oh, just
I really...
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
really liked what Relish did in that play.
Hello? Oh, of course, my internet is...
And he really just blocked them from getting any cheeky plays on the Lee Sin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I think my internet dropped there for a second, but we're back.
Okay, sweet. Are you lined up on time still?
521, 522, 523.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And FFZ was pinging onto the dragon, but it looks like they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, they need Ziggs to back right now. More than likely, he should be able to just TP back in the lane. But they definitely don't want to fight until the Ziggs does get his back in. Jinx completing Boots' first item, try to like get a little bit more movement speed to dodge, while String Thurocracy is looking for a potential gank onto Next Winter. Next Winter pop, gets hit by the Shockwave, but flashes the engage by String Thurocracy.
Yeah. Relish is playing really well. I really like what Relish is doing here. He's kind of like blocking any plays.
Yeah, Just Relish is moving up. Next Winter has to be careful though. The Crawl is right there. He was trying to get an Emperor's Divide onto Empress or Blades, but is not going to be able to get close enough, so it's just going to be a little bit of trade of autos and nothing much else. Dragon is started up here by FFZ.
And it looks like they're gonna try to contest.
I don't think they can. Like Next Winter has teleport. He can get it back on. Empress of Blades is out of mana.
Yeah,
Ziggs
doesn't have ult.
Yeah, Ziggs doesn't have full priority, but he has his items. He has his shove, but here comes Nocturne and String Thurocracy, but Next Winter is here. The knockup doesn't get hit Corral, but Corral does get hit by the Q, but it gets spell shielded. And now they're in a bit of a pickle. The Emperor's Divide does hit the Nocturne to push him closer to the Ziggs while Vaprito jumps away, but Next Winter is in danger. He's going to get hit. He's dropped super low, but first another kill picked up by Vaprito. Jinx gets excited. She gets one. Vaprito super low. Empress of Blaze flashes forward to try to complete the kill. The knockup onto Prey is hit, and Zerathai is trying to get down as much damage as he can. Empress of Blades is out of mana. Zerathai is trying to hit these Qs. He's trying to snipe them. He throws one out, but it's going to be a 2 for 2, and the Dragon's going to reset.
What a fight. That was intense.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought FFC was making a little bit of a blunder there.
Oh, I actually thought Dynasty Sapphire was making a blunder there.
Oh.
Because the Orianna Empress of Blades, she didn't have any mana.
Yeah, she had enough to do a little bit, and I thought it was enough to actually make the play work, which it looked like it was. But at the end of the fight, she was out of mana. Prey was getting chunked there though by Zerathai. Zerathai drops the ultimate but doesn't connect. But now Vaprito is looking onto String Thurocracy, but it looks like it's going to be pushed away. With Jinx backing, Matchup gets ulted by the Mordekaiser. He's in the death realm. Matchup probably is dead here. He doesn't have the shield. He doesn't have the damage. He does drop the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. And Ford picks up a solo kill for himself, while Next Winter gets pushed out by Empress of Blades. Empress of Blades used Shockwave while we were expecting the fight top. He's trying to get down as much damage as he can. Next Winter being dropped down to about 20 HP, while Dragon gets picked up. But the Jinx ultimate is coming. Does it connect? It does, and Jinx gets a kill there.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say this looks good for FFZ, like trading the Rift Herald for Dragon, but they dropped 2 kills, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, Mad Chef definitely needs to be careful in this lane. He is not in a position. It's kind of how I figured that this is what was going to happen. I don't think Set is necessarily the strongest early game fighter, especially in a champion like Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
So things are going to get a little rough, especially once Mordekaiser completes that Rylai's, which it looks like that's what he's building first, unless that's a demonic, but...
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard because the Mordekaiser, if he just TPs to the fight,
gets engaged on by String Thurocracy. He has no mana. He does use the W to get pushed away while Prey is hitting Just Relish, trying to get them low. Zerathai does have TP, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble right now, and he has a decent amount of mana. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, the Mordekaiser is going to be really impressive with this lead that he's building for himself at the next Drake, I think.
Yeah, that's assuming that Dynasty Sapphire wants to fight the second dragon.
Yeah.
Right now we have Vaprito onto Ford. They know he doesn't have Death Round. Vaprito is going to try to get a kick. He does not do it. He's holding it for so long for some reason. I felt like Vaprito had the kick angle there, and he just didn't do it.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Well, Just Relish is going to get engaged on by String Thurocracy. He's going to get rooted, and that's going to be a kill picked up for the Jinx. What are you doing, FFZ? Come on. They're just playing a little bit too too out there. But now Empress of Blades is here. The Shockwave does connect, and that's going to be Vakuto drop dead to forward. And things are looking rough.
Yeah.
Now we have Next Winter trying for a gank, but Nocturne is here. Nocturne sees him. He has the ultimate. Prey and Synchrocracy can look for a turn. The Nocturne ult get popped. This root does connect. The stun hits, but Nocturne doesn't ult, and there it comes. It was so late, but Jinx is going to pick up the kill with her ultimate, and now they're going to chase down Zerathai. Zerathai tries to flash, but Krell flashes after him, and that's going to be another kill picked up for Dynasty Sapphire.
Oh, wow.
And things are just starting to fall apart for FFZ.
Yeah, they just got really good plays on all 3 portions of the map. That is...
Yeah, but now we have Vakuto here trying to get a... He does connect the Q. Prey flashes away. Prey's at about 100 HP. Vakuto's trying to get more. He gets the shutdown with the kick. So at least they got something, but down 3K at 10 minutes is not what you want to see right now.
No. Yeah, so for the side of FFZ, they're now down about 2.5k gold. I think they really just need to like slow the game down a little bit, stop being so hasty, and they can still scale late into this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough against this Jinx. So Jinx has picked up 4 of the 9 kills and has 3 assists.
Yeah.
So Jinx has a 7 KP out of 9 kills. It's gonna be tough.
Luckily for the side of FFZ, they do have a lot of pick potential, so if they can get that Jinx down before she gets excited, it will be really big for them in these team fights.
Yeah, and notably Jinx has very low movement speed or movement abilities, so there's definitely angles for Vakuto, Next Winter, and Mad Chef to look for.
Yep.
Alright, well, now Ford has completed Rylai's, by the way, so things are meant to get so much harder for Mad Chef, and Mad Chef doesn't look like he's going to go that Bork start that you see a lot of sets do to make sure that they can win the lane. Looks like he's just at the point of conceding. Mordekaiser has his ultimate. He looks like he's going to take those Krugs, but the Krugs get sniped by Vakuto. Vakuto gets pulled into the Death Realm, and now he is in danger. He doesn't have his kick to push him away, but Empress of Blades gets shoved under the tower, has to flash. So great play there by Next Winter, and Vakuto does survive the Death Realm.
Yeah, that's really good. It does look like the Lee Sin's going to have his Gore Drinker on back, so there is a chance they could contest this next dragon.
Yeah, Lee Sin's Gore Drinker is complete. Nocturne Stridebreaker is there as well. And notably, Zerathai has his Leandri's Anguish, while Jinx only has the Kraken, so I think a little bit more power out of Zerathai just because it is a mythic versus a non-mythic. But if Jinx gets excited, then it doesn't really matter.
Yep. Very, very crucial here, though. The Mordekaiser does not have his ult.
Crawl could be in danger. Crawl gets knocked up and gets kicked into the Azir, but Crawl ults the Rakan to safety, so Just Relish going a little bit too far, but the Shockwave does connect. It's going to have to force Just Relish's flash while 4 TP's in. And it's now a 3-for-3. Some pretty big ultimates are down for the Sign of Dynasty Sapphire, and they could look to contest. They have the set TP. Zerathai has the angle. He doesn't have his ultimate yet, though, but Vakuto is trying to get into position to get vision on the dragon. They know what's happening, but Next Winter and Just Relish are going to back, and it looks like they are going to just have to concede this dragon.
Yep.
I felt like with Mad Chef's TP being up, they could have definitely fought that, but...
Yeah, I think they definitely could have fought it, but I think they just don't feel comfortable fighting it just because they're so far behind right now.
Fair enough, fair enough. Down 2k. They definitely want to give themselves time to get some items. Leona's going to drop the ultimate onto Zerathai. Zerathai could be in trouble. The traps go down, and now Zerathai can't get away because the traps stop the dash. That's going to be a kill picked up by Prey. And now Vakuto's looking. He does hit the Q. He does get stunned up. He's trying to find some more. Synchrocracy is low. Vakuto's looking for another Q. It does connect. They do get the kill, but it's on to Just Relish while Vakuto tries to finish off Synchrocracy while Just Relish tanks for him. That's going to be a 2-for-1 in the bot lane.
That was really clean.
It
is a little unfortunate that all of these shutdowns are going to the Lee Sin, though, because he does not have that scaling ability like some of the other champions on his team.
Yeah, 100%. But, I mean, you need to get the kills where you can get the kills to make sure that the gold doesn't go too big in the favor of Dynasty Sapphire. Wow, the Herald. Is the second Herald of the game or first?
Second.
Okay, who had the first Herald?
The Dynasty Sapphire had it, and they dropped it bot lane
That's
to
right.
get.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, well, second Herald going to be picked up by Crawl. So Dynasty Sapphire definitely has a lot of objective control right now. First towers are pretty low. They should be able to get something here, but Next Winter's trying to get some damage over the wall. So you have to watch out for that Orianna ball. Crawl is looking. He dashes away. And now it's going to be a 3-man push in the mid lane, but they have Just Relish here to support Next Winter. And looks like it's going to be called off. The vision game is pretty intense right now for both sides, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they both have really good vision lines.
Well, I would call it FFZ more of like a U, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Next Winter has to be careful here. Empress of Blades is going to look. She does get some damage down. Wow, the Crawl gets the ultimate. He does get the Emperor's Divide away. Crawl flashes forward for the fear, but Next Winter flashes away from that. So, ult for ult, flash for flash. I'm honestly surprised Empress of Blades didn't drop the shockwave there.
Next Winter's been doing his homework there. Actually, I'll wait for this play to be over.
Yeah, it looks like we have the Herald charge. This should be the first tower falling, but Vopto is going to find Empress of Blade, gets a knock-up with the TP from Mad Chef. That's going to be 1 kill picked up for Vopto. That's going to be the next picked up for the set. So two for none, but they lost the tower, and they might lose a tower in the top lane.
That was really good from both Mad Chef and Vopto there.
Yeah, sadly, FFC does lose 2 towers in that play, but the gold lead's still only 2K. So, I mean, nothing's really changing.
No. Yeah, a big reason for that, though, is the Lee Sin is up 1,000 gold
Yeah, here
on the
comes Lee
Nocturne.
Sin. Just Relish ults, but doesn't hit it. Vopto gets CC'd by the traps. The TP comes in behind him. That is going to be the Orianna. They have to be ready to fight. Here they go. Empress of Blades gets a double shockwave under Just Relish. Just Relish is dead to Prey. Prey gets excited. Vopto has to flash away to try to get to safety, but Jinx is firing. Jinx is shooting. Jinx doesn't hit the rocket, and that is going to be Vopto getting away with his life. I can't believe he got out of that.
He's so clean.
All right, but the next tower is going to fall. That's going to be 3 towers to none in favor of Dynasty Sapphire, and the map is open for him.
Yeah, this is going to make it really hard for FFZ to contest any of these neutral objectives. Yeah, it was a while ago, but Next Winter did its homework on Nocturne there. If you wait, so the way that like tethers work, so like LeBlanc's E or like Nocturne's W, it basically it'll tether onto them and it'll latch like there's like a timing, like every second it pings the server, and so if you flash near the end of the ping, then it won't stay on you. So like he can't flash follow to get the fear off.
Nice.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, well, next dragon's going to be spawning in 20 seconds. Hold on, sorry. All right. Ooh, Ford could be in danger. Ford does have the Death Realm. He's going to pull Zerathai in, and Zerathai's going to get put into the Death Realm, and that should be Zerathai dropping the flash forward by Ford. Should secure the kill, and now can Ford get away from Vopto and Mad Chef? I don't think he can. He is going to get a double pull. Good there, but Mad Chef flashes forward for the ultimate, and that is going to be a kill picked up and a shutdown for Mad Chef. But the dragon will fall.
I think that the shutdown there is really good for them. It brings this set back into the game. They should get this top tower. They're getting a lot of vision control over this area for Baron. This is really good for FFZ.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. FFC kind of needs to... I feel like they're putting a lot of focus on trying to get kills in random spots. I guess the shutdown 4-4 is pretty nice, but it does suck to give up some of these objectives, especially when you have so much poke coming out from Azir and Ziggs.
It is nice that they're taking control over this Baron area. Hopefully they can keep it so that the side of Dynasty Sapphire can't just get a free Baron.
Yeah, it is definitely possible, but I don't feel like Vaporto's going to let that happen. He has a pretty keen sense for objectives, and I feel like he also has a very high steal record of objectives.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee Sin definitely has the better smite with the Q execute damage.
All right, Lee Sin is pretty strong. Has the Spear of Shojin already completed. I don't actually see a lot of Lee Sins go that, so interesting adaptation here by Vaporto. So we're going to have to see exactly how useful that is. I guess almost all of his abilities don't technically count as CC, so definitely a lot of value there.
Yeah. He's going to be dashing around like a collie.
Yeah, here comes. Just Relish is looking. They have eyes on Crawl. I don't think they know String Theocracy is in that bush right now. Just Relish is going to walk right into him. Does get stunned up. Empress of Blades pops the Shockwave to knock Just Relish away. Just Relish messes up the flash while Nocturne pops the Paranoia. But they just cannot finish Just Relish off. So that is 3 major ultimates not to pick up a kill.
Yeah, that was... FFZ could definitely punish them here. They used all of their major ultimates there.
Yeah, Baron is going to be started up by Dynasty Sapphire. Vaporto has to know that this is happening. They Matchup gets spotted by String Theocracy while Vaporto is here. He does have the vision. Pink Ward down onto Baron. They shouldn't try to do this. Dynasty Sapphire, this could be extremely greedy. The TP's coming in
Ford
by the
does have
Mordekaiser.
TP.
Mordekaiser is TPing in. Mordekaiser gets the pull onto Zerathai, and Just Relish does get... Who got pulled into the death realm? I can't even tell, but Zerathai is going to die to Ford. Now Ford is chasing down. Just Relish is going to be brought low. Matchup gets a lot of damage now, but it's not enough to complete into the kills. And now it's just down to Vaporto. Can he do the hero play? Can he save the Baron? A lot of people are low. Looks like they're going to call off the Baron.
Yeah. I feel like FFZ could have won that fight. Vaporto is in a really weird spot, but I feel like if he jumped in there, they could have maybe won that fight because they didn't have any ultimates. Maybe they didn't know if Mordekaiser had ultimate or not, but Mordekaiser didn't have ult for that fight because he used it to kill the Azir bot lane.
All right, well, it does buy time for FFZ. It is a little detrimental that they lost that fight 4 for none, but the Baron wasn't taken. They have a chance to reclaim the vision line. They still have a chance in the game overall, down only 4K.
It's only a 4K gold lead. It's not that bad.
It's definitely not insurmountable. It's not like what we see a lot of the time, like the 10Ks, the 12Ks. So definitely think they're still playable. It's a little hard for Just Relish here, though. He kind of screwed himself over with this support pick. I'm not going to lie. I felt like Alistar would be so much more valuable here. But once again, Baron's going to be started up. They have vision on the pink. Baron has been started. Lee Sin is in the bot side jungle. He is going to be pathing up. But now, this time, Next Winter is here. Let's see what they can do. Baron dropped down to 9. Ford is trying to stay in the pit to make sure Lee Sin can't come in for a steal, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. Baron dropped down to 5. The Zerathai's ultimate comes out, hits 3, but gets spell shielded by Crawl. A TP comes in by Orianna. Just Relish is trying to get some form of bait, possibly. The Leona misses the E, and now it's just a poke game, and this is exactly what FFZ wants. They just want to find ways to get free poke in. Empress of Blades dropped down to 2/3 HP. Prey and Crawl dropped down to half.
I wonder if FFZ could just rush the Baron while they go to Dragon here.
They don't. I guess Azir is pretty good at taking Baron, but that's about it. But looks like they're just going to get a shove on the mid wave. Vaporto's looking for some form of play right now, but Ford is on the backside. He dashes away. String Theocracy is looking for an engage. The Paranoia drop down. A double stun here by there. A double Orianna ultimate, but it's not enough to complete any kill as we speak. Crawl is brought super low. Next Winter has to push Ford away while he is in the death realm. Just Relish and Zerathai are trying to get damage. Vaporto gets 1. Prey has there. He has the ghost. He's trying to get excited. He gets excited once. Zerathai's in danger. That's 2 excited for Prey, and now it's just down to Matchef and Vaporto.
Yeah, that fight was really scrappy. Jinx wasn't there, so it gave FFC a fighting chance in that fight.
Yeah, and honestly, if it wasn't for Vaporto having all the money on himself, I feel like it would definitely be more plausible to win that fight. But Zerathai and Azir just don't have the items yet to really carry scrappy fights like that.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be
the Mordekaiser is just sitting on top of them, just shredding them.
Yeah, I mean, Mordekaiser ults Azir. Next Winter can't get away. He has no way to get out of it, and he's just taken out of the fight instantly.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I didn't think about it, but the Mordekaiser is actually really big here because they don't really have like an AD carry, so it's not really plausible for any of them to build QSS.
yeah, that's why I said that that's one of the reasons why I like Dynasty Sapphire's draft this game, just because it's hard for them to do stuff like yeah, if Mordekaiser can ever get in range to a Azir or Xerathi, it doesn't matter how much peel you have on your team, you can't get rid of the Mord.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's really sticky with that Riley's.
yeah, Dynasty Sapphire on still point. It is a mountain soul, so things just get harder and harder, especially with your two best primary damage dealers on FFZ being AP. Really allows the ability to stack that MR. And Mordekaiser has gone for the Jock Show build, so he's even tankier and harder to kill. So you're not really ever in a position to get rid of him.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I hope to see FFZ really use the power of Ziggs here and just try to play side lanes and like. Yeah, I don't think they can really fight anymore. This Mordekaiser is just too big of a problem.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be tough. They need to give their... there's a point where Azir will beat Mordekaiser in the 1v1. The question is, will they get to that point? Like, Azir needs time. He needs items. Azir looks like he's going for the Nashus too. It's not something you see too often on the Azir. I guess he did opt for the Hail of Blades build instead of the standard Conqueror or Lethal Tempo, though.
Yep.
All right, Vapoteau's going to walk right into Shinkarakashi. They're trying to get an angle on Empress of Blades. Vapoteau does have the angle, just well gets the root, and he's going to kick Empress of Blades to make the Shockwave miss, and now Empress of Blades is low. He does get dropped by Vapoteau. Vapoteau jumps away from Crawl while Mad Chef is trying to get some more damage in. He does ult away, but Jinx gets excited for one. She's going to try to chase down with Ford. Mad Chef's in a little bit of a bad angle. He does get a decent amount of damage down, but he's going to fall. That's going to be a double kill for the Mordekaiser. Or not for the Mordekaiser, for the Jinx, while Mordekaiser pushes away 3 of the members of FFZ.
Yeah, this Mordekaiser is just walking at them, daring them to fight him 1v3. So funny.
All right, well, let's see if Vapoteau can do the unthinkable. Can he get the Baron? Mordekaiser is trying to catch him. He does have the Death Realm, so Vapoteau has to be careful. Crawl and Shinkarakashi are going to be dropped super low. I just realized...
FFZ's... Oh, sorry.
I just realized that it is super hard for Dynasty Sapphire to actually commit to these Baron plays if Azir or Ziggs is alive, because Baron drops the MR so much. So that's why these fights are so insane over in those pits.
Yeah, FFZ's been doing really good at making it so they can't get this Baron. And without Baron, they can't really like break down these tier 2 towers unless they give an objective.
Yeah, and that's exactly what FFC wants. They we keep saying it, they need time, and right now that's what they're doing. They're already 28 minutes in the game, 2 items completed on Azir, almost 2 items on Xerathi. Xerathi has actually just completed his second, opting not for the tier builds, so he's way more focused on trying to get as much damage as possible. He doesn't want to waste any more time scaling.
Yeah, the dragon is up here in about a minute, and that is sole point for Dynasty Sapphire. So FFZ is on a little bit of a timer now, unfortunately for them.
All right, let's see what Vapoteau to do. He's trying to get an angle, but he's going to get pushed away. He saw the Nocturne and the Leona. Prey is worth 600 gold, or 900 gold. Also, if we take a look, Prey has his stopwatch, 2 stopwatches for FFZ. So, I mean, the two people that Mordekaiser's ulting, they shouldn't be dying in the Mortal anymore because of the stopwatches and soon to be hourglasses. So there is an upside there, but I think Ford ulting them alone is enough to win the fight as it stands right now.
Yeah, I think that Xerathi, if he can get some poke off on the Ziggs before these fights start, that's like their biggest chance at winning these fights. And he's been doing a really good job at doing it.
All right.
It's
Oh, sorry.
so hard for Dynasty Sapphire to push these waves because look how much wave clear they have.
Yeah, we do
Crazy.
have soul up for Dynasty Sapphire. Let's see what FFZ can do, or if they just opt to concede it. Orianna is in the top side, does have TP, but maybe that's the angle that FFC needs. TP takes, I believe, 4 seconds to actually get there. Empress of Blades is starting to walk down. Doesn't want to waste time on the TP. Vaporto needs to look for an angle with Just Relish. Next Winter gets caught out by Ford, and now they have to go save him. Empress of Divide, but the flash over by Ford, and now Next Winter is just going to barely survive, gets the Hourglass, so Next Winter will be alive, but he's out of the fight. Paranoia goes down. That's going to be Next Winter dropping while they're fighting in the mid lane. A double shockwave for Dynasty Sapphire, but everyone's brought super low. Double kill for Mad Chef with the W, and now Vaporto is trying to make plays with Mad Chef. Zerathai is still alive. He's trying to get down as much damage as he can. Prey drops the ultimate, but Zerathai dodges with the Hourglass, and that is going to be Mad Chef getting onto the Jinx. That's going to be a lot of damage. Mad Chef does pick it up, and now Ford and Mad Chef, the top and the jungles, are alive. Can they do it? Vaporto's low, Crawl is low. It's really just Mad Chef versus the world. Mad Chef is chasing Nocturne away while Ford tries to pick up Vaporto, but Vaporto's a lot harder to stick onto. Mad Chef should be able to stick on a Crawl for a pretty decent amount of time. The fear goes down. Vaporto hits the Q. Can he pick up the kill? Crawl has to flash, but he flashes right into Mad Chef. And that is going to be FFZ picking up the enemy jungler. Oh, wait, the spell shield buys more time, but Vaporto should be able to complete it. And now it's Ford versus the world. TP coming in for Next Winter. And now Ford is trying to pick up the kill onto Vaporto. Vaporto dashes over to Mad Chef, and Ford doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the ability to kill him right now, but Empress of Blades is here. The TP came in. Mad Chef is trying to get the kill. He does get the pull, but he doesn't get the kill. Next Winter is here. TP coming in by Zerathai. Empress of Blades get pulled into Vaporto, but Vaporto has to get away. Shockwave goes in. Next Winter gets stunned, but Synchrocracy, I don't think he has the damage. Sync Rocket coming in. It doesn't hit, and that's going to be FFZ. FFZ is going to get more. They're going to do more. Shrink Theocracy is going to drop. And that is going to be it. But Ford is here. He has the TP. He ults Vaporto. Vaporto, I think you're dead, buddy. I don't think you can wait with the dash. Can he do it? He's out of it. He gets the heal. He is still alive.
Needs to clip this.
Oh my god.
Clip this.
And that is going to be the brought low. But
What
Jinx
is
get
going
excited.
on?
Jinx is going to chase Prey. I don't think they can do it, but the turret is up by Next Winter. And I think Dynasty Sapphire won that fight.
How long was that fight? Like 2 minutes?
I don't know, but that is going to be the soul. I don't think Zerathai and Next Winter have what it takes to steal the dragon. Oh, Zerathai walks right into Ford, but Ford misses.
That was insane.
All right. Oh, Next Winter, you're dead. You made a mistake, but you have the dash, I guess. But the burn, it's ticking, but it doesn't go through. But the soul picked up by Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah. I mean, FFZ showed a lot of life in that last fight. That I honestly thought it was going to be a blowout, but they played it really well.
Holy crap.
Mad Chef particularly.
I got a cough. Give me a second.
Yeah, you were going off.
All right, we're back. All right, Vaporto
That
dead.
was
This should be
crazy.
the Baron. I don't think they have what it takes to steal it without Vaporto here.
No.
They have so much damage. The Ziggs ulti gets dropped. Prey gonna drop the Hourglass. A little bit interesting there. I don't think it's that much damage. Oh, that bomb almost stole it. But the Baron picked up by Dynasty Sapphire, and now Mad Chef is in danger. He gets brought into the Death Realm. Oh no, he didn't. I lied. Ford did not use the Death Realm, but he's gonna get a lot of damage down. What? Dynasty Sapphire gonna walk away. That's gonna be both objectives picked up for DS.
Mad Chef is doing so much on this set in these league fights.
Yeah, all right. FFC trying to look for an angle. They have a chance to fight. Ford is going to get kicked in. He's going to get knocked up, but the Death Realm goes out while he was knocked up. A little unfortunate there, but Tower is going to get dropped by Zerathai. Ford wasn't able to complete the kill on the Mad Chef, and now Mad Chef pops the Hourglass along with Ford, but Prey gets excited. He gets one. Mad Chef dies. That's going to be another excited for Prey. Prey is doing as much as he can. He gets a double. He has the chase. He flashes forward. That's going to be a triple. He's going to get the Quadra. I don't think Vaporto can get away. He has the Hourglass. He doesn't have the kill threat. Vaporto does jump away with the plant. Prey misses the W. And that is going to be a 4-for-1 in favor of Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, they could probably end here. I'm not sure. I don't think Lee Sin has the wave clear to stop this.
Yeah, Vaporto's going to get chased away right now. Vaporto.
He's so clean.
Yeah,
He is so clean.
Sadly, it doesn't matter how long you survive if you just lose the game in the mid lane. Vaporto's trying to delay Ford from getting back to the team while Just Relish is up. I don't think
I
Vaputo
think
can
he
win this
did enough.
1v1. Oh, a nice kick away, but the towers are going to drop. Prey's excited. Prey is getting more. Prey got one. Can he get the second? He doesn't get it. He gets pushed away by just Relish. So one Nexus tower will survive. FFZ is up and alive. They're ready to keep the game going. Zerathai drops the ultimate. It does connect onto Prey, but it doesn't do that much damage. Vaputo is still over here fighting. He's still alive. I think FFC's only chance at this point is the Elder Drake.
Yeah, he bought so much time. He's really doing a good job at delaying this game. If they can get another fight like they did around the Soul at this Elder Drake and secure the Elder Drake, FFC is still in this game 100%. They need to get that tier 1 bot lane tower off the map though. That's objective bounty. It's free gold sitting there.
Yeah. All right, Hourglass completed by Zerathai. I believe Next Winter's almost completed his Hourglass as well. I think 200 gold is what separates him from safety. But Mordekaiser is so hard to deal with. There is not much DPS able to deal with him.
Yeah. Yeah, FFZ, it's really hard because they're...
Your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. We do have a potential fight here in the top side. Dynasty Sapphire is trying to get as much as they can. Just Relish is here with the flank. Mordekaiser has the teleport. This could be an angle for FFC. Double GA, though. They see Crawl. They see Sting Thurocracy. Mordekaiser is still pushing in the bot lane. Just Relish gets caught out by Leona, but Crawl could be in danger. He doesn't have the mobility to get away. The Q does connect. Leona drops the ultimate. The fear gets dropped. Vaputo doesn't get feared, though. Mordekaiser, though, pushing in the bot. He's going to get so much right now. They can't stop the split push. All right. There you go.
Mordekaiser took 0 damage.
Yeah.
From...
I don't know how they kill the Mord, I'm not going to lie. Unless the entire enemy team is dead and they can put full focus on them.
Yeah. Zerathai just hit like a sweet spot Zigzal on him, did 0 damage.
Yeah. Vaputo's trying to delay Ford as much as he can, but Ford is going to be able to pick up this inhibitor, so that's going to be a second inhibitor for Dynasty Sapphire. While they push on the top side, they might look for a triple inhibitor play. Vaputo goes in, but he's just going to get pushed away. Ford does not care. Ford is ready to fight 1v5, I feel like. But we have Just Relish engaging at the top. A huge Emperor's Divide, but it's not going to be enough. Mad Chef gets a nice damage down. Jinx drops the what is it called? GA, but Jinx is brought super low. He gets excited. He's going to run away. Jinx is so fast while Nocturne and Ford just end the game. That's going to be game 1 for Dynasty Sapphire.
That was a really good effort from FFZ. They showed a lot of life in that game. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to prepare things for game number 2. So we're going to go off. Oh, my God, I messed that up, my voice. Okay, let me reset. We're going to go prepare things for game number 2, so we're going to send it off to a break while we get those things ready. And once we're back, we'll talk about what we want to see FFC do differently and talk about what Dynasty Sapphire did well to secure that victory. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
All right, my voice hasn't recovered, but the game must go on. Game 2 is ready for drafts. Fimstat, how you doing?
I'm doing good. That
Your
that
mic
last
is
game
effed
was...
up again.
Oh, I'm sorry. One sec.
Well, while you're fixing that, honestly, though, I'm surprised at what FFZ was managed to pull out there. You wouldn't know FFZ is sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard with how those fights were going. Yes, Dynasty Sapphire had control of that game in the entirety at all points, but the fact that FFZ was able to put up such a strong fight, very impressive.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep, you're all good.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what FFZ was able to pull off that last game. That they made it competitive, even though they were like 3,000 gold behind. That soul fight, that has to be like one of the most awesome moments of this season so far.
100%. FFZ putting up a great fight for that soul, and it was looking good at a lot of angles, but the TPs just kept coming in. The fight just kept going on. They could not kill Ford to save their lives. He was just so hard to kill. But we are in the game number 2 now, so FFZ banning the Jinx. Don't want to get prey on that champion again. He did start to pop off, got a lot of pickup kills with his ultimate, got a lot of gold in his pocket, and he was able to really take control along with Ford. Whereas Dynasty Sapphire keeping the same things that they banned in game number 1, except for an adaptation with the Wukong jungle. So they do have the Mumu ban, they have this Senna ban, and it looks like they're going to have this Wukong ban. So let's see what FFZ can... I'm actually... FFZ just banned Ezreal, and they have first pick. That's like Zerathai's go-to. Interesting. Maybe Zerathai is like, I int today. We need to ban this. But
it seems like they're prioritizing the Ziggs more often now.
Yeah, Senna as well has been a lot of priority for them, but Dynasty Sapphire banning that so far every single game, so smart on them. But the Jarvan is going to get picked up here. So great first pick, solid blind pick as well. Doesn't reveal anything about your team. And it's going to give FFC a lot to work with. If they can get the Orianna, that could be a lot of damage being slung out there by next winter. But Dynasty Sapphire, looks like they have the Poppy counter for the Jarvan. The question is, though, is it a Poppy top or jungle?
I think it's interesting that they just pick it up there because they could have held on to it maybe and got baited FFZ into more dashing champs.
Yeah, there's definitely a potential, but Dynasty Sapphire are going to take away the Orianna from FFZ, so maybe we see next winter with the Azir again. just because it didn't. He was doing fine in lane. It was really down to the point where he just kept getting Mordekaiser ulted after Mordekaiser ult after Mordekaiser ult.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I felt like Next Winter was playing pretty well. He had some great Shuriman shuffles. He had some pretty solid fights in general when he wasn't Mordekaiser ulted. But FFZ going to pick up the Cassante in the top lane.
That's so good.
And if that is a Poppy top, I don't know if this is how the matchup is supposed to go, but I have seen Cassante bop Poppy. So it is going to be rough for Poppy if that is Poppy in the top lane. And FFC, once again, going for the Ziggs, really put in the shoulder, or putting the carry on his air thigh. He needs to be on point with the Qs. And so far, he was doing a decent amount of work. It just felt like they gave up a lot of lane priority with the support pick, and I think that's where the weakness really lied.
Yeah. Yeah, the Alistar would have made that comp feel a lot better.
All right, looks like we are going to have a Xayah or a Kai'Sa. They are going to opt for the Kai'Sa. Honestly, I agree with that. I think Xayah into Jarvan is a little troll just because you can't actually get out of his ultimate with the Xayah ulti. But Kai'Sa can. So, great pickup there. What's up?
I feel like they're going to have a really hard time killing this Cassante late game.
There is definitely that potential. Cassante can do a lot of work, especially if he gets his like 1 or 2 items. But all I want to see, honestly, I would love to see FFZ ban Leona. Like, you don't have the rel to match it. You know Leona has a good, strong pairing with Kai'Sa, and Leona makes the game super hard for Ziggs. Like, just get rid of that champion.
Yep.
And honestly, String Theocracy on Leona last game was vital. Stopped Just Relish from doing what he needed to do. He couldn't stop Vaporto every single game, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. And there is the Leona ban, so good on them.
It also set up a lot of things for the Orianna to have successful plays there.
Yeah. Alistar ban going to come in for Dynasty Sapphire, so kind of reading what FFC potentially thought about doing last game. And honestly, FFC probably should just ban another support. I don't think Cassante really has any matchups that he cares about,
No.
except for maybe like a Darius, but I would be surprised to see Darius get pulled out.
Yeah. I do want to see I want to see them playing to get forward behind this game.
Ooh, that is going to be... Is that Crawl pulling out the Master Yi once again? There isn't a lot of CC on FFZ. No point in clicks either. Are they going to do it?
I'm getting PTSD.
Oh, okay. Crawl not going to do it, looks like. Gonna hover the Xin Zhao with Orianna, pretty strong. We've seen Maria's Dungeon pull out the same as that combo. Xin Zhao really good at getting on top of people. So, there is no threat of the Master Yi, so FFC doesn't have to worry about stacking CC with their final 2 picks. So let's see what they are going to pull out for their mid and support. They know the matchup. They saved the support pick for last on Dynasty Sapphire.
It does look like it's a Poppy top. Cassante could be flexed mid as well.
Yeah, there is potential of that, but I'm pretty sure Cassante just stomps Poppy. Like, I don't think there's any reason for them to flex that. Like, yeah, Poppy can stop his W dash, but I'm pretty sure Cassante's damage alone with just Qs is enough to deal with Poppy.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen. I don't know the matchup too well, because a lot of people just permaban Cassante, but every time I see Cassante into Poppy, Cassante wins, so...
Yeah.
Also, I don't think Cassante's ult is stoppable either. I think he goes unstoppable in his ult, so the Poppy W doesn't work on that.
I think it is Cassante mid.
No, I don't think. I think that's Jace mid, 100%. If that is a Jace top,
Okay.
that is troll, in my opinion.
Yeah, we actually thought that Poppy countered Cassante because we played against Dynasty Sapphire last week and we picked the Poppy.
Yeah, no.
And I think we were wrong.
No, it is not good. It is not a good matchup. But we do have the Renata for FFZ. Not a bad pickup, especially if Xin Zhao is going to be running into your team. Kai'Sa is going to try to follow up. But Emilio is a pretty decent counter into the Renata hostile takeover with his ultimate. I don't know what it's called. So, so we do have some pretty interesting comps here. Both teams really heavy on the team fight, in my opinion. So once again, I think we're going to have some pretty bloodbaths. FFZ opting for the high poke damage coming out of Jace and Ziggs. And this time, they don't have an unkillable Mordekaiser, and they actually have a mixed damage profile. So,
Yep. I like FFZ's draft. It's very standard, very powerful, and even if they're behind, they can play this game out a lot easier from behind. I think FFZ has a much better chance in this game than they did last game as far as draft goes.
yeah, I do agree. Dynasty Sapphire Game 1 definitely had the stronger draft. This game is a little bit closer, and if I take names away, I think FFZ's draft is stronger. But knowing the players, knowing what they're capable of, Dynasty Sapphire has very powerful players. They have some great combo potentials with the Orianna, with the Xin Zhao. Great follow-up by the Poppy and Kai'Sa, so it's going to be tough. But we'll have to see what they do.
I'm curious to see which Xin Zhao build we see. If it's going to be the Hail of Blades or the Conquer with Gore Drinker.
I think it will be the Conqueror one. I think the only person that's pulled out that Hail of Blades build is Nukes, and honestly, Dynasty Sapphire needs tanks to deal with the poke.
Yeah. Yeah, the Xin Zhao is going to be really big in these team fights because he's going to absorb a lot.
Sorry, I'm doing something real quick.
Okay, it is Cassante top.
I hope so. All right. I'm coming back. All right. So, yeah, Cassante top. Xin Zhao. I want to see matchups succeed, but Ford is such a dominating player, it's going to be tough.
Right. Yeah, Ford, he's so hard to play against. It's gonna be tough. Luckily, he's not on like a super hard carry champ this game. I think this is the first time I've seen Ford not play someone who can 1v9. So, should be interesting to see this adaptation and see how Dynasty Sapphire looks when Ford is playing a tank.
Well, I mean, he was playing a tank last game. Technically. You see his build?
Yeah.
Like, I had like 4,000 HP and infinite armor and MR.
He did like 48,000 damage. He did the most damage on the game by far.
That is
Yeah. He's a.
Oh, he outdamaged
I
Jinx that
played
game? I didn't look at the damage trend.
Yeah.
Oh my
by like
That's disgusting.
14,000.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I've played against him a lot in solo queue. Actually, the week before our match with Dynasty Sapphire, I was doing with our ADC, and we were against Ford like in a bunch of solo queue games. So we were trash talking mad in solo queue games. But he kind of just
Did you guys
he
lose
shit
or
on
win?
us every
Did
time.
you guys lose or win?
We lost like almost every game. It was really bad.
Trash
It was
talking
him.
while losing. Interesting.
He like 1v9'd every game. I don't know what happened. He's just so good.
Hey, top useless roll, right? Come on.
True. I actually think that top and mid, like with the jungle changes, I think top and mid are a lot better roles now. But jungle's still OP, don't get me wrong.
All right, well, we're going to send it off to a break while we load into the rift for game number 2 between FFZ and Dynasty Sapphire, so don't go anywhere and get ready for what looks like is going to be another bloodbath.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Don't stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so. And now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves. Laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
All right, we are loaded into the rift for game number 2 between FFZ and Dynasty Sapphire. Vimstad, are you ready?
I am.
All right, 3, 2, 1. It's frozen, but it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's
We'll
'cause
play for the.
they did a little bit of a pause. There we go. 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's see. This bot lane should be a lot easier for FFZ just because they don't have the tank of Leona to really absorb the harass from Ziggs. But in the late game team fights, I think Milio is going to be a lot better than the Renata just because of his utility at getting people off of CC.
Yep.
But we're going to have to see what each other does. But next winter, going for a little bit of trade. He did somehow get that first strike, even though I swear to God, Orianna hit him first, but whatever. But once again, another standard 5-point from both teams. Just a little bit of trading in between.
Yep. Yeah, I mean FFZ has an 11 gold lead. They're up gold. They're winning.
Yeah, it's winnable. Winnable.
Let's see if they can keep their gold lead here.
Yeah. All right. Well, both junglers once again starting on the top side. I don't think either of them actually know where the other one is starting though. So.
Yep.
It's going to be a little bit of a blind start for both of them. But Cassante is actually going for a leash, so now our Dynasty Sapphire should know where they're starting.
Yep.
Just Relish and Zerathai trying to get some early poke in, but it doesn't quite pan out. And Zerathai going to take a little bit of a chunk there. Already missing out on about 100 HP.
I expect to see some pretty spicy stuff this early game. We have Jin Zhao and Jarvan. It should be
We also
pretty
have
spicy.
a Jace, a Cassante, a Poppy.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be a lot, but Mad Chef looking for some aggressive trades right now. Misses the Q, but gets the, what is that called? Grasp of the Undying proc.
Yep. Does his grasp proc on the Q, or does he have to actually auto attack?
It has to auto.
Okay. I didn't know if his Q counted as an auto.
No, that would be OP.
It's kind of weird. It looks like Jarvan might do full clear.
Yeah, it looks like Crawl is looking for an early gank in the top side with how he pathed, so Matchup's going to have to be careful here. Ford can definitely look to stop the dash away. So things can get a little bit dangerous in the top side, but this gives Jarvan a lot of priority here. But Ford misses the W knock up, and now Mad Chef is going to be able to walk away.
I'm actually surprised that he showed there because Jarvan could punish him for that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of punishability, especially with FFZ having the priority this game in the bot side.
Yeah.
But this doesn't
look like he's gonna look for it.
Yeah, this does give Ford a lot of opportunity to get some early pressure now, though, because Crawl was able to pop a lot of HP from Mad Chef. So that top lane matchup is going to be a lot easier for the Poppy. But we're just going to have to see what Poppy can do, really. But her damage is not exactly the highest.
No.
All right, Zerathai and Just Relish trying to get they get the handshake onto Synctherocracy. Synctherocracy is going to be dropped down to half while Zerathai pushes forward. He W's Synctherocracy back right into him. And he's going to get dropped super low, but Just Relish has to be careful. Jarvan and Xin Zhao are fighting now, though. And Jarvan's going to get roamed on by Empress of Blades. Coach Ray has to be careful here, but Next Winter is ready to match it. He doesn't hit the Q, and now Empress of Blades has the advantage. He has the auto attacks. He has the mana. While Coach Ray is looking for a kill onto Synctherocracy. Just Relish flashes forward to drop down the Ignite, but it's not enough to complete the kill. Handshake lands, and it does get a pull, but that's going to end the play.
Yeah, this is really good from FFZ. They're really punishing that early top lane gank.
All right, Crawl in danger. Crawl is going to have to pop his flash. Coach Ray really trying to put the hurt down on him, while Ford does get a potential kill on Mad Chef. Mad Chef gets away and gets the shield.
Wait, take the blue buff.
There's definitely potential here. Oh yeah, he's going right back in. He's looking for a fight onto Crawl. Crawl's gonna have to walk away. He does hit the W onto Coach Ray, and Prince of Blades is ready to move. But Coach Ray, you don't got a team with you, buddy. This could be detrimental. This could be first blood. That he does flash away, but Crawl picks up first.
The healing on Jinzao, that was huge.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing there not to see Next Winter try to move for his jungler, but also on top of that, Etoe being a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah. I think he had the right idea in mind, but I think he should have just taken the blue buff. Been happy with that.
Yeah, it's really detrimental. Luckily, Zhao not like the hardest carry of carries, especially in the jungle. So you could run into the same problem that you had with Lee Sin, where if he starts picking up all the kills, he's not going to really be doing much once that late game rolls around, except for being that beefy front line.
Right. Yeah, and it's really good. Cassante is like going pretty even, and I feel like that's just good for Cassante. He's gonna scale so hard.
He's missing a lot of Qs. Ford's gonna get down some decent damage, but Etoe is here to do the gank. Ford tries to flash away. He gets knocked up, and that's gonna be a kill for Mad Chef. So great tempo builder for Etoe after that detrimental invade.
Yep. Very, very good that Cassante got the kill there.
Yeah, but Mad Chef could be in danger. He does have his ultimate, but Crawl is up there still. He did start his back, and it looks like Poppy's going to be able to put a freeze in that top side.
I don't know if he can. That wave's huge.
I think Poppy's tanky enough. I think he's going to get it. And Cassante doesn't have TP either, so things are getting a little rough there. Handshake connects onto Prey, but Prey is chasing down Zerathai. He gets a full passive proc on him. Zerathai's going to be drop super low. That is going to be the revive from Renata getting popped, but it's not going to be enough. And now Prey pops the ghost. He's trying to chase for more. Does he get the double? His Q's coming in, and that's going to be a double kill for Prey.
He's playing from Starbucks, and he just got a double kill. That was insane.
What?
Yeah,
what?
Well, that's what they said earlier. They said when they paused, they're like, "Man's playing from Starbucks right now." I don't know if he actually is. That'd be pretty funny.
First Dragon for Dynasty Sapphire going to get started up, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any contention with Coach Ray being in the top side. Ford is still trying to look for these fights, but there's a point where he's not going to win these anymore, and he's going to take a little bit of a beating. Mad Chef is trying to get more. He doesn't hit the knockup, but Ford is going to get pushed back in towards Mad Chef's tower. And it looks like he's just going to walk past. Yeah, Coach Ray's looking for an invade while Mad Chef fights. Mad Chef pops the ultimate, and now Ford could be in danger. He does get the knockback, though, for the W. But a flash forward by Mad Chef is going to complete the solo kill here. If he connects the Q, he does. And that's going to be the solo kill for Mad Chef.
All right. Can we just delete this champion? Like, wow. That was...
Yeah.
I think it's really good. Coach Ray's playing towards this Cassante when you can.
FFZ could be in danger. Crawl is looking for something while Coach Ray looks for a play on the mid lane. Shockwave's going to get used with Empress Blade's flash. Zerathai's going to get ulted on by what's her name? Kai'Sa. And he is going to get dropped while Just Relish has to run away, but Crawl is looking for more. Crawl, you might be dead here, buddy. You might have greeted a little hard there, but I guess it's just a kill on the support.
Yeah, that's definitely worth. This Kai'Sa is going to be super huge. It looks like she's going to go for the Kraken Slayer. Do you go Gwynsos in this build?
You can, but typically you see Quick Blades.
Oh, gotcha. I actually think Gwynsos could be pretty good here for shredding this Cassante.
I think Quick Blades is super OP, especially with the amount of E resets you can get. So a lot of safety and invisibility.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Coach Ray is gonna have some little contestation. Oh my gosh! Crawl just walks up and takes that Rift Arrow, and now Coach Ray could be in danger. But Next Winter is here to try to do some more. Coach Ray's gonna get dropped super low. He's gonna drop the ultimate before it's gonna pick up the kill. So oof for FFZ right now.
Yep. And it looks like Crawl went for the Doran's Blade. I really like that. That's something I like to do a lot. Doran's Blade is just such a good stat item for how much gold it costs.
Yeah, especially with the buffs that it did get this patch or last patch. So
last patch, yeah.
All right, Mad Chef. Let's see what you can do in the top lane, bud. You're 2-0. You got to start putting this team on your back because everyone else seems to be faltering.
I mean, he's on the right champ to do it. He could 1v5 these fights.
Ford gets a stun into the wall. Now Mad Chef's going to get dropped super low. That red buff is really doing a number onto Mad Chef. And Crawl
they could
is
dive
looking
him.
for a dive, it looks like. Mad Chef, you're in a little bit of danger here. I think you just got solo killed, Mad Chef, but the W is going to go through. Poppy drops the ultimate. It's going to snipe him, and that's going to be a kill.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. This guy is so cracked. He's so good.
All right. Well, Coach Ray is going to be looking for something in the bot lane while they get this top lane tower pressure, and they do have the Herald, so there is potential for this to get dropped really fast. They drop the Heralds. It's going to get dropped down to 1 plate minimum.
Yep.
While they look for a dive in the bot side. I don't think you want to take this dive, FFZ. I don't think Zerathai has the damage.
No. Crucially, FFZ has gotten a lot of damage on this tower. They could easily bring it down with Zig's W here.
Yeah, there is potential. I think it's, what, 25%?
Yep. 25%.
Yeah, they're trying to get
He's
down
only
to-
got 1 point.
Oh, Zerathai, you could be in danger. Whew, a little bit risky there.
Yeah, they still have the first tower gold on the table, so I think it's really good Coach Ray's just playing around this, trying to get that first tower perhaps.
Yeah, but now Crawl is down here and Zerathai is low. They're going to have to be careful
Yeah.
here. Crawl is looking for a potential engage. He does do the swipe. Zerathai flashes it to get away, but Just Relish walked up too close to Crawl. Crawl is trying to chase. He's trying to get more. That's going to be the knock up on Just Relish, and that's going to be the kill for Crawl.
Yep.
And now you have Empress of Blades on the flank, but here comes Next Winter trying to do more. We do have a fight breaking out in the top lane, but I think this dive is more important. Zerathai and Coach Ray are in danger. They have to try to get Empress of Blades away. The knockup doesn't connect, but Zerathai gets the push away. Shockwave misses onto Zerathai, which is crucial. Coach Ray is trying to stay alive while Crawl goes in. Next Winter trying to do something on the backside, but Crawl's going to pick up one. Can Zerathai pick up the trade while Next Winter gets away? The ulti's going to get dropped, and that's going to be a shutdown for Zerathai while Next Winter is buying so much time for his team. And while this is happening, the fight in the top lane still sort of happening.
Yeah, these games have been bloodbaths. They fight so much.
Yeah. All right, Ford going to push Mad Chef into the wall. He does get knocked in there. Mad Chef has the ultimate. He does drop it. Ford could be in danger. Ford misses the ultimate, and that's going to be Mad Chef picking up the kill.
Yeah, it looks like FFZ is just starting up this dragon. Are they just going to give it to them?
TP coming in from Oriana, so it doesn't look like they're ready to give this quite yet. Zerathai, you need to move over to the dragon for your team. They're going to spot out Crawl.
Ford and Mad Chef are going to be on similar timers because they got the back off at 7 seconds on the death timer, so
Yeah,
they're both probably
have
going to TP here.
Coach Ray's going to drop the ultimate onto Crawl. Crawl's going to get knocked up. Crawl's going to get dropped down to half. Mad Chef is here. This should be the dragon for FFZ, but Poppy is coming.
Yep.
Poppy is there. Dragon picked up. Zerathai shoved into a wall. Zerathai could be in danger. Wow, Next Winter gets chased away by his team. Next Winter, I don't think you might not be able to get away from Crawl. He just had the flash to actually sneakily get away. Wow. Ford is in danger, but a nice dash to minions to make sure he gets away, but hustle takeover popped. Just Relish, what the hell? That ain't it, but now Crawl is looking to try to get more. Crawl goes forward onto Zerathai. Zerathai's going to fall. Crawl is going to not fall quite yet. Crawl's healing is insane, but he does eventually fall, but that's going to be a 3-for-1, a 4-for-1. I don't think Coach Ray gets away from this. Next Winter, don't step up.
Oh.
And that is looking good for Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, it looks so good for FFZ, but they just that was really rough for them.
Ooh, Prey's hunting. He does have the killer instinct. Hitting that W. Zig's ulti comes down. They don't want to give up first tower yet. It's still a fight for first tower. Plates have finally fallen. And FFZ down 4K at 14 minutes. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, the ADC is down 1,000 gold, and yeah, this bot lane is just super far ahead. And actually, Ford is not that far behind Mad Chef. He's only 300 gold behind.
Yeah, I don't think it's not necessarily a matchup where Cassante gets huge money leads. It's just that he doesn't die and he will win the 1v1 eventually.
Yeah.
All right, I believe first tower should fall to Zerathai here though, but the bot lane has backed and Crawl is not there to cover. So first tower for FFZ, closing that gold gap. Forward is going to shove Matchef into the wall, and then he's going to have to walk away. But Matchef is looking for more. He does get the W. He does get the Q slow. He does get the ultimate through the wall, but a little bit deep there. Oh, what? How did that? Huh? Oh, his W is unstoppable. That's right. His W is unstoppable. Oh, my God. Great 1v1 there by Matchef.
He timed that so well. Yeah,
All
this Cassante is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Hope is not lost for FFZ quite yet. Cassante is trying his darnest to make sure that his team can come out on top. And Versa Blade is looking for a play. Shockwave goes on to Just Relish. Just Relish is going to get knocked up. The hostile takeover and to go forward to make sure that he can stay alive. Dodges the sweep, but the burn is ticking, but it's not enough. So good on Just Relish surviving there. And this is the second rift of the game. Dynasty Sapphire going to start it up. Coach Ray, Next Winter, and Zerathite ready to move. Matchef is here. Just Relish is not, though. So things can get a little bit dangerous. Good poke onto Strength Theocracy. Matchef is on the flank with the plant. They're going to try to do more. I mean, FFC is doing what they need to do. They're getting down huge poke right now onto Crawl, onto Strength Theocracy. Another Q doesn't quite hit. Matchef is going to be dropped down to half while Crawl goes forward onto Coach Ray. Coach Ray gets stopped by Ford and shoved into the wall, but Crawl is not following. The Herald's going to get killed, and that is going to be a no kill for no kill, but objective in Dynasty Sapphire's favor.
Yeah. Matchef just couldn't get in there. He doesn't have. He's sitting on a lot of gold, and he doesn't have his ult. It's crucial that FFZ didn't take that fight, though, because that could have been a game ender for them.
Yeah, they definitely need at least like 2 items on Next Winter, 2 items on Zerathite, and then I think they're in a lot better of an angle to take fights.
Yeah. Yeah, their poke's not hitting too hard yet, but they are landing it, so that gives hope for late game. And they're actually crawling back on this gold lead. They've scraped back a little bit of gold despite them getting the Rift Herald. Dynasty Sapphire getting the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they were down 4K. Now they're only down about 3K, so managed to scrap about 800 gold in their favor. That first tower really helps. That top tower is in position for Ziggs to just walk up and take it if he so pleases.
Yep.
But it looks like they're going to try to put pressure onto the mid wave and to the mid lane.
And it looks like it is a Hextech Soul, so that is really good for both teams.
Relish going to get hit by the sweep. Once again, he could be in danger. Crawl is trying to do more, but Coach Ray is sitting in the flank. Make sure nothing crazy happens. Empress of Blades could be in danger. I don't think Empress of Blades has the power. He is going to have to drop the flash. And that's going to be Shockwave doing nothing to Matchef. If Matchef can get another angle like that, I think Empress of Blades just dies.
Yeah. No one can stop him.
All right. Once again, he's going to dash forward. Doesn't connect the Q. Empress of Blades getting some decent poke on there. Matchef getting a little greedy with his attempts to engage onto Empress of Blades. He does have TP, though. The dragon is up. The dragon has been started by Dynasty Sapphire, but FFC says, screw it. It's just a second dragon for them. Let's get these towers. Let's get some gold on our belts.
Yep. I like this from them. This is really good.
Yeah. All right, that's going to be a tower drop. So gold lead drop down to 2.5K. Ford is looking for an angle onto Just Relish. Just Relish, you got to be careful here. Don't get near that wall, buddy. And a TP coming in. Ford's going to get dropped super low. Hostile takeover is going to go out, but it's going to go wide. Ford could be in danger, though. That's going to be a kill for FFZ. And that is just what they needed. Coach Ray flashing forward, but gets stopped by the Milio.
Matchef is timing these W's perfectly with the Poppy ult.
Yeah, Coach Ray a little bit greedy there, trying to go forward, but Crawl is going to get stopped. Crawl's going to get put into his place by Matchef. Matchef puts him through the wall. Next Winter trying to get down as much poke as he can while they pick up a kill. Shutdown for Zerathite. Coach Ray survives, and that is what FFZ needed. The cold lead is starting not to matter.
Cassante champion.
Oh, Matchef flashing forward, doesn't hit the Q, but he's looking for more. Empress of Blaze is going to get dropped so low. The Comet able to snipe, and that's another kill onto Zerathite.
All right, I think we're going to see some Cassante bans. in game 2 if FFZ takes this game off of them. Or game 3. I'm trolling. The prophecy is alive.
Yeah, it is still there. It is still ready. Zerathai doesn't want to be proven wrong once again.
They brought this gold lead from 4K down to just 800 gold now. This is really good stuff. Dynasty Sapphire is still sitting on this. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
the Rift
Just
Herald
Relish.
just dropped.
Just Relish, you're just gonna just die. Oh, he gets away with his flash. That was not worth the freeze, but here it is. Herald gonna get dropped. I don't know if this tower falls quite yet. Crawl's gonna try to make it happen. Looks like, oh no, it will. It will. But Mad Chef's gonna try to maybe look for something. Mad Chef, you went a little bit too deep there. Ford is here. He doesn't get the stun onto the wall. Can he get away? He does have the dash. The Ziggs ulti goes down, connects onto 3 for about a quarter HP onto Crawl and the String Theocracy.
Yep, that champion can't die. It's confirmed. He has 2 items, and he just got the Thornmail, and in that little mid lane skirmish, he's already blocked 300 healing. That's crazy.
Oh, for Sante?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Empress of Blades trying to get this tower. Takes 1 tower shot next winter. Maybe looks to turn this into something. He does pop the Ghost Blade. Gets shockwaved away, though. Ooh, good poke there, but overall, it's just going to be Empress of Blades ult and a tower in favor of Dynasty Sapphire. Now, we have Mad Chef getting that top tower with Ford going in, trying to get down as much damage as he can, but the Renata is here with Zinzao to follow suit. Can they survive? Mad Chef's trying to get down as much damage as he can. Ford gets a stun onto Just Relish. Wild Crawl dashes forward, a TP and a hostile takeover coming in. But a TP going to be answered. Now Zerathai next winter half the run. I think Zerathai, you TP'd a little late there, but Ford misses the dash with Zerathai's flash. And now Mad Chef is trying to keep his team alive, but Zerathai's going to drop a shutdown for Crawl. And now Mad Chef could be in danger, but it's going to get stopped. Coach Ray.
Ooh, I feel like they could have fought that.
I think it was a little greedy there, especially with this Relish dropping. But Baron is going to be on the table for Dynasty Sapphire now. Coach Ray's going to have to make it. Yeah, Coach Ray's going to have to make a miracle play. No TPs. It's just Coach Ray and a dream. It's at 4,000. Can he get the steal? Ford can stop the dash over, though. I don't think Coach Ray knows. Ford drops it, yeah, and that's going to be it. So that's going to be the Baron for Dynasty Sapphire while Ford gets Coach Ray stuck into the pit, and that's going to be a kill for String Theocracy.
Yeah, that was a very heads-up Baron.
All right. So, once again, the game is in Dynasty Sapphire's hands. They grew their gold lead back up to 4K. So
I don't know what happened.
FFZ are right back where they started.
It's yeah. And Hextech Soul is so good for the side of Dynasty Sapphire, so I feel like FFZ should really look to secure at least one of these dragons.
Yeah, they are going to need to do that, but it is going to be tough, especially with just how much gold they are down. Their only ray of hope really is Mad Chef, but Mad Chef is occupied with dealing with Ford. But I don't know if Mad Chef can kill Ford fast enough, to be honest.
No.
All right, Dragon is about to be started by Dynasty Sapphire. Looks like Coach Ray is going to try to look for prey, but doesn't find it, while Ford takes the fight into the top side. Mad Chef is trying to do as much work as he can. He still has his ultimate, misses the knockup. Dragon is going to be started while the fight goes down into the top side. Coach Ray and Just Relish are trying to look for something, but looks like they're just going to call it off while Mad Chef is fighting for his life in the top side. And Ford, I mean, is somehow winning this fight, which is a little insane. I think it's the Divine Sunder healing, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really hard for FFC to get into these objective pits. They can't really, if they don't get enough poke down early, they can't really fight.
Yeah, it is going to be hard, especially with Baron now. They can't really clear the waves as efficiently.
Yeah. That's something they did a really good job of last game, stopping the Baron, but this game they got an early Baron, and it's allowing Dynasty Sapphire to break down their base slowly.
Coach Ray looking onto Ford, but Just Relish is in danger by Empress of Blades. He does miss the handshake, and now Just Relish is going to die, wasting his flash. Ford knocks away Cassante. Now it's just Coach Ray and Ford is a lot stronger. Let's just say that. Ford is out of mana, but I don't think Ford cares. Tower's going to get dropped in the mid lane for Dynasty Sapphire. Cassante's here to try to do more. Ford drops the flash to try to run away, and he's going to be able to get away.
Uh-oh.
Now Match Chef and Coach Ray could be in danger. They're going to have to try to get away as fast as they can. Bray looks for something, but isn't able to connect. Ziggs is here. Tower gets dropped in the bot side. Ooh, the poke for Zerathai. Not able to compete with, I guess, Orianna and Kai'Sa.
That was like a 3k Baron power play there, so Baron definitely did a lot for the side of Dynasty Sapphire there. They were able to break down 2 of these tier 2s, mid and bot. It's going to be really hard for FFZ to come back from that. Although Zerathai is building up quite a bit of gold here. If he can get that Rabadons in time for this next Baron, which I don't think he can, but if he can, I feel like they have a fighting chance.
Yeah, there's definitely still hope. They are, though, however, down 7k, so they really got to wait for Zerathai and Next Winter to get down as much poke as they can.
Yeah.
My voice is dead.
Yeah, game 1. I mean, both of these games, it's just been a total bloodbath. These teams love to fight.
Yeah, and the kills aren't even that high. It's just fight after fight after fight with no gain whatsoever, except for like an objective.
Yeah. The fights have been surprisingly even throughout both of these games.
Yeah, it is definitely close. All right, let's see what FFC can do. Baron going to be up in 1 minute. Soul up in 1:30.
They're able to get some vision control here. That's good for FFC.
Yeah, they definitely need to play around the vision with Next Winter and Zerathai, because the only way that they win these fights with Mad Chef being occupied with Ford is through the poke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that Mad Chef isn't able to just like run Ford down in this side lane. Because that was definitely their win condition earlier in the game, but now it looks like Ford is able to just skirmish with him and it doesn't matter. Oh, Ford is getting collapsed on.
Yeah, let's see what can happen. Coach Ray, not going to be able to do much. Ford can just kind of dash through Coach Ray, and the knockup does stop Coach Ray from going in with the CQ, but Just Relish lands a handshake, but Just Relish, you're alone once again, buddy. Gets stuns up into the wall. Zerathai is here now, but they can't connect anything onto Ford. Now the TP's coming in while Coach Ray, hostile takeover getting dropped, but it's not going to be enough. Empress of Blades is just going to walk away. Huge shockwave onto 2, and let's see what they can do. Poppy, ulti gets stopped by Mad Chef. Next Winter isn't here. Coach Ray is dead. It's now a 3v5. I don't even know what happened to Next Winter. Ford going to chase. Ford's going to get the kill. Now Zerathai and Mad Chef are the only survivors, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Mad Chef picks up 1, picks up 2. So, I mean, a 5 for 3 or 5 for 2. TP going down in the mid lane. Oh, is this a game-ending push? No. This inhibitor. Only Next Winter's up.
They're just so far behind. Like, they had a really good angle there, but FFZ just cannot compete. They're so far behind in gold. And that is Hex Tech Soul, so that makes the game even that much harder. I'm not sure. FFZ, like, Dynasty Sapphire is going to have to make a really big mistake in order for FFZ to have a chance in this one, I think. It looks like the Ziggs is off just about 500 gold on that Rabadons, so that will be a crucial pickup for FFC.
Yeah. All right, Baron is up. This is honestly FFZ's last hope.
Yep. Yeah, they have to win this fight, but Zerathai really needs to get that Rabadons before this fight if he can, but there's nowhere to get gold on the map. They're just bleeding out.
Yeah, they're down almost 10k at a 9k gold deficit as we speak. Baron is going to get started up here by Sapphire.
Just Relish just had a for fun flash, misclick perhaps. It's gonna be a little bit unlucky for this upcoming fight. Yeah, and the Jin Zhao has a Guardian's Angel now, so I don't even know how you kill him anymore. Asterix, Guardian's Angel, and Gore Drinker.
Yeah, Baron gonna get started up here by Dynasty Sapphire. TP gonna come in on the flank. Next one, or Matchup's gonna try to look for more hostile takeover. Does connect onto 2, but Ford gets a double knock up with his ultimate. Coach Ray goes in to try to do more. He does get revived, but he does fall. Matchup has to try to do something. He has his ultimate. Huge knock up there for Matchup. The crawl goes in deep. Matchup is trying to do as much as he can on the back line, but the back line of FFC has fallen. Next Winter is gonna fall in suit while Matchef chases. Matchef is low. I don't think Matchef has the HP to win this.
No. That was a really good effort from FFZ. Like, that fight looks surprisingly close. That was a really good effort.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're down 10k, and that's all you got in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the best they could have done in that situation. They played it really well, and it just didn't work out in their favor. Maybe if they were even in gold, that fight looks way different.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Match Chef alone almost killed like 3 of the back line of Dynasty Sapphire, but they were able to sneak away from them.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see the damage graphs this game.
Oh. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
I think my internet dropped, but we're back. All right.
Yeah, it's just going to be a slow whittling down of the base at this point. They're going to look to get all 3 in-hits with this Baron, and then if they get a fight, they'll probably just end the game, but if not, they'll probably just wait for this next Baron and end the game with the double super minion waves.
Yeah, it is looking pretty hopeless for FFC here. First or second inhibitor tower is going to fall. Wow, Crawl gets engaged on here by Coach Ray and Mad Chef, so they should be able to pick up a kill here potentially. Mad Chef drops the ultimate while Crawl goes forward onto Just Relish, but he's not going to be able to complete that kill. First inhibitor falls. Mad Chef's going to get dropped super low. That's going to be the GA pop by Crawl. I cannot believe how long Crawl survived there, to be honest. Crawl does fall eventually, but Next Winter falls in the top side, and that's going to be 2 inhibitors down for FFZ. Can they defend the base any longer? Looks like they're going for that triple inhibitor. Like you were saying, the handshake does connect. Hostile takeover goes in. Washington actually gets hit, but his ultimate's going to get him out of that super fast.
Yeah, I don't think they can stop them. Hextech Soul just makes it so they can clear these waves so fast.
Yeah, Zig's ult's going to get dropped, but it doesn't connect onto anything. Handshake doesn't connect onto the Ford. Just Relish, or sorry, Coach Ray falls to prey. And both Nexus Towers are going to be dropped super low. Look at the cannon minions. They're just firing. There's nothing they can do. That's going to be 1 Nexus Tower down, but Prey gets caught out by Mad Chef, so that should end the push, and that gives FFC 1 final chance to make the stand of their life. Maybe they can sneak in Elder. That's really all they got.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that Cassante is just a tank assassin. And that happened, but I don't think it matters. Mad Chef is trying his darnest to carry his team. Mad Chef still has a gold lead on Ford somehow.
Yeah, sadly he doesn't really have the damage to deal with everyone else.
No.
All right. Elder up in 20 seconds. Just Relish is the only one there, but he's going to get chased away by Ford and Crawl. He tried to back in that bush, which is a little interesting. Maybe he's trying to bait a fight here. He does have oh no, he doesn't have hostile takeover quite yet. All right,
let's see
Coach
what
Ray,
FFZ
what you doing,
has.
buddy? Ford is going to catch Coach Ray onto a wall. Shockwave doesn't connect because of the flash, but Just Relish, you're in danger. He doesn't even get the hostile takeover. Now Crawl chases Coach Ray, and he's going to get to Zerathai in return. That's going to be the knock-up connected to EQ out to safety. Mad Chef gets shoved into the wall. Mad Chef could be in danger. He does drop the W. Zig's ulti gets dropped. His Mad Chef's ultimate gets popped. And now Crawl and Ford are going to push them back to the end while Prey attacks the back line. And that is going to be the game. That is going to be the ace for Dynasty Sapphire.
I mean, overall, FFZ had a really good effort. I think that they tried their hardest, and Dynasty Sapphire is the top team in the league right now. So
yeah,
FFZ putting up a really good fight here.
With that victory, that guarantees Dynasty Sapphire in what's it called? In the first seed slot. I also believe that guarantees FFZ in the 8th seed slot for playoffs. So that means FFZ is going to have to go through the entire gauntlet because FFZ did lose to BBC and they did lose to FAT, which means they lost to FAT, right? I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
What does first place do for Dynasty Sapphire? Does it really give them any advantage over ET?
They get choice priority once the gauntlet is done. They can't
Okay.
choose the 2nd seed, but they get the choice between 3rd and whoever makes it out of the gauntlet.
I dare you guys to choose Spectre. I dare you.
But yeah, I believe that does guarantee FFC in that 8th seed slot, which means FFC is going to have to make the push through the entire gauntlet, and that means Dynasty Sapphire gets the 1st seed slot. Now, who's your MVP for that game?
I'm gonna have to say it's either gonna have to be Prey or Ford. I can swing both ways, but I think
Prey or Ford. I think I'm gonna give it to Ford.
Yeah, Ford was just so oppressive. Fought against the most OP champ in the game and still won in a losing matchup somehow. He's so good.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna pull Ford in. I hope he's ready. Hello, Ford. How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, you are our MVP for this series. Congratulations on your win against FFC and your guaranteed 1st seed for the playoffs, which means, if you weren't paying attention, you guys get pick priority once the gauntlet is done between the 3rd seed and whoever makes it out of the gauntlet. So how you guys feeling, and what are you guys going to do to prepare for playoffs?
Honestly, I think we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Just practice like we just been doing these past few weeks because we're getting better slowly. 2nd game, I don't even want to talk about it. That shit was that was not fun for me, but I started playing around the team after I gave up like 5 solo kills, but we ended up pulling through.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting matchup, the Cassante and the Poppy. But first, I want to talk to you about the Mordekaiser in game number 1. You had the most damage in the game. You built basically full tank. What is going on with that pick? How were you so dominant there?
Well, honestly, the landing phase got me super ahead. It was just slowly that failed gank by Lee Sin. I got that picked up that kill, and I think I had a kill prior, so I was 2-0 ahead in CS. And then every fight, it just felt like they just ignored me, and then I just kept picking up all the least HP people that were left over.
Yeah, very good plays there. Vimsat, do you have any questions for Ford?
How are you not diamond? This is crazy.
Bro, I told you. I think a few games ago I was 13-8 on Jax, and I had a 1-11 Camille. Jungle.
Yeah.
Jungle, by the way.
Nice.
I mean, congrats to you guys. You play so well. It's very hard to play against you. I know firsthand, and you're doing really good.
Bro, you have any sweat after you found me in solo queue, and then you're gonna curb stomp us, dude. I was like, all right, I have to.
I mean, we got wrecked in the end. You 1v9'd.
Really?
Yeah, dude, you were typing. I was like, shit. Now I gotta sit up in the air,
All right. Well, I don't have any more questions for you unless FimSat has another one.
I do not.
All right, well, my voice is shot and I have to get prepared for another series, but thank you for joining us, Ford, and thank you, FimSat, for joining me. And once again, congratulations on your victory and your guaranteed first seed. Coming up next, we have Elysium Terra versus Lexi's Rat Emporium at 9 p.m. EST, so we will be back in approximately 50 minutes. So don't go anywhere, and thank you all for the support that you give BTL.
Appreciate it, guys.